Hey, Ryan Michael Galloway here for We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com, and we're producing your recording right now. We've got our basic tracks down, and we started to layer on some piano or keyboard or guitar to make things gel a little bit. At this point, I'm not trying to add too much distortion or rock and roll sounds into my recording. I'm trying to keep it pretty clean so I can hear the tonalities and the pitches. And you know, I may play a rock and roll song with an underlying acoustic guitar to hold it all together, and then maybe take that away later, but probably keep it in there because it helps push and link up with the drums, and particularly the strumming patterns can sort of link up in odd ways with the hi-hat on the drums, and they tend to push the song really nicely. And so another thing to think about is, let's say you're going to add an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar. A couple things to think about tonality-wise when you record guitars, and then you graduate to the distorted guitar sound. When you play an acoustic guitar, you're generally playing most, if not all, of the strings, and they're very full sounding. If you're going to come along next and add a distorted guitar, remember that the sounds that work best in a distorted guitar in the kind of power chord vein is just a couple two top strings of a bar chord. We're talking basically fifths, because they are going to be crunching and grinding, and you don't want to throw a third in there a lot of times. The middle note that or let me just say, you don't want to put a whole bar chord in there as an example, because what happens inside the amp when it's distorting is you're creating a lot of extra notes, and those tend to clash with each other and don't sound particularly good. If you listen real close to Aerosmith and stuff like that, if there's a full chord sound and a crunchy, grinding, distorted guitar is playing it, they're probably doing it with more than one guitar. And when you are recording, you're really staying on just a couple strings so they don't distort. If you attempt to play an electric guitar in distortion mode like an acoustic guitar, it is going to sound horrible. And I've heard some examples of it lately in some, shall we just say, amateur recordings. They weren't really amateur recordings, but basically that's what they ended up sounding like. So put down clean instruments right now. Put down piano, put down your basic keyboard sounds. You could probably get away with an organ, but I'm really looking for rhythm instruments right now that help the bass and the drums gel and give you a foundation to start building on top of. I'm Ryan Michael Galloway, and We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com.